27th, which is tomorrow, is a Bridge Day. That's something kind of we're trying to grow it each year. It's the anniversary of when the bridge was opened, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
1906.
1906. And so their intention, so I did a proclamation. I don't have it here with me to read, but it's not that big. I did a proclamation declaring tomorrow Bridge Day as tourism requested. They're gonna close part of Benson Street, Benson Avenue tomorrow, just down a little ways, I think, and have some activities tomorrow evening. I think it starts about 6. And some music and different things, food trucks, just right there in a small area. And they're gonna talk about some history of the bridge and all that. And so if you have a minute to swing by, I'm sure they would appreciate the support as they try to build that event up. Second, the pool, if you haven't been by there or seen anything about it, I challenge you to do so. I think it's the biggest, maybe, I'm not sure why, but it seems to me to be the biggest crowds day in and day out that there's been in a long, long time. Now, some seasons, it'll rain 3 days a week, rain you out, just hadn't done that this year. Storms, they haven't been closed for lightning but one time since they opened. So that has made the numbers be up, but the numbers are truly amazing. I know as of 3 days ago, there have been 2,876 admissions to the pool. And I would say there's been 500 or 600 since then. So you're talking over 3,000 participants pass through the pool. So I challenge you, if you don't want to go, just drive by and look and see how much it's used. And that's why I put as much time and energy into it as I do. And I think it looks great this year. The only complaint I have now is we just outgrowed some things. You think of like having a concession stand and having 300 kids. I mean, you think of, it's more than McDonald's. You're trying to feed more kids than McDonald's is. So I think there's some opportunity there to grow in the future, but for now they're having a ball and it's great. Let me tell you, they're doing it right now. They're out there at the pool every day.
Do we have a limit? Because I've gone by and it is like, it's
Yeah.
great to see it.
Yeah, she does. I forget what it is. And they have to add a lifeguard for every so many. She
Lifeguards are
yeah, she keeps up that. We actually have 14 employees this year, which is a couple more than I have. But I'm glad we did because they need it.
And they're not always in the pool at the same time, like you can
Yeah.
let in more than, because, I don't know if y'all remember back in the day, which y'all are too young, some of you, but these are, they know, I mean, like up on top of the deck, you would have 100 people up there.
But
Like,
they weren't
in the
swimming,
pool.
Yeah.
So there's a different, and you get, probably 50 people under that shelter, you can handle more than,
It's about like you need now to move the fence back and increase the area around the pool.
well, he's got some good ideas, it sounds like.
Yeah, I've got some good ideas for next year. Trouble with the pool is lots of trouble, but the thing that we have to think about is Cody, part of your expertise helping us. You have to kind of time it to where you're doing it in the winter or early spring, or here comes time to work and the pool's up and you can't do anything. We can't mow the grass,
Yeah.
So kind of get a plan to get it rolling in the fall is what would have to happen to try to have it ready for next year. But the grass area there, it's a pain to mow, it's bees, it's very little value to the way it is right now. If we could get rid of that and add some splash features like you see in the other
Yeah, the splash
towns
pads.
tied in with the big pool, it would be really game changer.
You'll have it even more, which is great. But
And then, yeah.
I think it's a really good service we can offer to the community.
I do too. And then if we had the opportunity to increase the capacity of the concession stand, if you see the amount of food they're selling, they're about the size of this, where we're sitting.
Oh,
About
it's just
the size.
real small.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the same concession from 55 years
Yeah,
ago.
it's amazing, and it's just, it's just. The second item, approved minutes for May 29th, 2025 meeting. If you notice, they're in your packet and stapled to them. If you had a chance to look at them, I would entertain the motion to approve the minutes, and then we'll talk about the attachment.
I'll make a
Motion by Cody,
I'll second.
second by Keith, all in favor, start saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the next item on the agenda is review bids for garbage truck. You all that was here, I think it was our last meeting, we opened all that, it's laying down there, I kept it, if everybody wants to see it, and we're gonna box it all up, put it away. But to try to make it make sense, me, William, and the guys that was on the little group that I had help me, that knows trucks, because I don't, they sat with me, we went through every bid, and I put them on this spreadsheet so that it make more sense that you can see it all in one picture. And after all the, going through them, the entire committee, and on the committee, I had Luther, which is going to drive the truck. Luther, well, he's the driver of the truck. And he agrees as well now that the one at the very top, the salesman will be Boyd Cat. The truck brand is Western Star. The bed on the truck is New Way, King Cobra, and it's laying right there on top. And the engine was Detroit that met the specs that we advertised for. The transmission Allison met the specs that we advertised for. And the time frame of delivery, after they order the truck, then they have to get the bed put on it. We would look at getting it here sometime between December and January of this winter. The price would be $295,063, which I believe is also the cheapest on the list. $288. Auto part. I'm not a truck person. Every person we've talked to, that was a brand new dump.
Was that also the one that didn't meet specs, it was smaller?
Yes.
He said he had it in stock, that's why but it wasn't.
Exactly. See, it's just in stock over the drive. That's how I was here that night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's in stock, but it don't meet the specs. Right. Luther actually, let's see, he drove the second one that says in stock. They brought it up here for us to see. That's the one he drove, he, and it doesn't meet the specs, the horsepower and the torque. See, it's 300 horsepower, and everything else is 4 to 500. So, the thing, I'm not a truck person, and I'm not gonna ride in it, so I did listen to them a lot, and they really put in a lot of time looking through this. The thing that was important to me was the vehicles we have now, we have time getting them serviced. There's one place in Huntington called Theme, and I swear, I hate to say it, I can't, it's the work service, we never do service. It's a trip, just days getting the truck out. They're just overwhelmed, but we're not a big customer, we have one truck. They probably have customers that have 20 trucks. And, so we would like a vehicle that we can get worked on here, or at least have service here. Boyd Cat has a mechanic, at their facility in Ashland that would drive here to do the work in Hartman. And we tried them out a couple of weeks ago on our other truck twice, just to see how it is when we're satisfied.
Up here it starts at.
Yes. See, we're currently either going to Charleston or Louisville.
Yeah, even if you had to go to Ashland, that's not as bad as that, so.
Well, he said if there was anything they couldn't do here in our garage, the farthest we'd have to go is Pine. And also, I would like to add, that we accept that bid. He offers, I've got the email he sent me. They offer extended warranties on the engine, extended warranties on the transmission, and extended warranties in the cooling system. And all that together was less than $8,000 for extended warranties that would take us the life of the truck. Because we don't put a lot of miles in it. It's years, but not miles. So the warranty we would need to cover the miles of the time we would keep the truck for less than $8,000, we can have extended warranty on everything. And I have it on my email, but I didn't print it. So what the committee would like to recommend is that we go with recast that number one with the new way. And like I said, it's almost the best price. It is the best price of any of the name brand trucks.
Is that 8,000 on top of?
Yes, it is. It is.
Diesel or gasoline?
Oh, diesel.
Diesel.
Yeah. This is a big truck. Big. It's, I mean, that engine, I guess, anybody trust a person? It's probably close to the engine of the culture.
What would you all fill that up at, the diesel in?
They typically get it at the
Birdhouse,
birdhouse.
most of the time, is where we get most of ours, because we get a little bit of a discount if they go to Exxon,
Yeah.
Exxon
Okay.
Service, through our WEX card.
They can always,
They can get it.
it as a bulk.
Yeah, they,
They're not open.
sometimes they do go down to the bulk
Yeah.
station, like if one of the cards is flaring up or something, or if they're already there, they'll.
And what I'm gonna have to do, what I wanted to do, if we could get you all to approve that, we'll get the truck, we'll give them the purchase order number that says the city's good for this, and then they'll get the truck on the way. And then I'm gonna shop for the best finance. And they, Western Star has their own municipal financing too. We can look at that, we can pick up the big cities, or we can look at Enterprise, where we do our other trucks, or we can look at a bank. We've currently been doing it through Fifth Third,
I'm sorry.
the bank, we got the garbage truck.
It's through that,
Now it's
changed the name.
Truist,
It's Truist
They
now, but it
changed
used to
it.
be, when we first started, it was BB&T.
BB&T. Now it's Truist.
Truist.
And Lord, I tried to get hold of them, They always had the best rates. And now when I did get hold of them, they said they're not doing the municipal funds. So they're gonna have to find a good financial service, but it won't be a problem. Actually, I talked to a couple of banks here in town, and they're all willing to look at it too. It's just, trying to get reasonable news from this high.
I'll make a motion to accept that bid.
Okay. Have a motion by Cody, so second by Caleb. Do we want to include the extended warranty?
I think so.
I think that all the guys think so. Kendra, he's the truck, he's the person in now, he thinks. He says he does.
If you don't, I'll turn up the minute that warranty goes out, it's not gonna be cheap.
No, it's not, Chief. That's what killed us now. All right, I have a motion and a second. Any more questions? All right, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you all. Get there. All right, item number 4, I'll explain these real quick. The utility board voted on and passed on Tuesday night, Louisa Plaza project, which is Burger King. We knew from the beginning that there was a sewer issue there at the old Long John Silver's property that was gonna have to be corrected before they could build new. So we've already talked about that, talked to the property owner. The property owner is willing to, it's actually the old owner, he sold this to Burger King. He's willing to cost share some of this project with us up to $15,000. If needed, but after Burger King people come and started dozing, they hit an 8-inch water line that feeds that pump station. We didn't know was there. If you look at our maps, it's complete. It's not even close to where our maps are. They hit an 8-inch line. So we're not only going to have to move water, we're going to water answer. The sewer's not gonna be near as bad as we thought, because it's actually from Twin Rivers Wholesale down is new. It's just over the manhole right there behind Long John Silver's. From that manhole down to 2565 is much older and needs to be replaced. See, I didn't know that, but then I started asking, and the older people said, oh yeah, Food Land and Long John, it was there a while before yeah. So that's why that's the case. So the utility board, everybody's in a hurry, Burger King's in a hurry, everybody's in a hurry. So the utility board felt like the swiftest, cheapest thing to do, both swift and, I won't say cheap, but cost effective, was to hire Bluegrass Engineering, who has Thomas that lives here. So he's right here in town and work on it every day. And he gave us what I think was an exceptional contract price of, if you look on page,
It's the second page of the bid.
yeah, page 2, a lump sum amount of $4,000. Now, I think there's some contingents upon you don't run into this and that, stuff, but he don't envision any of that. And there's 2 contracts from him, so the one I wrote on mine, and I apologize for your, there should be one for 11,000, one for 4,000. So the Louisa Plaza one is the 4th. So he's gonna do engineering on the sewer and the water, and give us as-built drawings once it's done. Our guys are gonna do the work. And so the engineering cost will be $4,000.
Yeah, that's the plaza.
I felt like that was extremely shit, who you voted
I would do that.
for? Well, I figured, but since it's a contract, I need approval, the utility board approved it Tuesday night, I need approval from you all to sign this contract with him, and then he'll invoice, he's about got it done. Okay, motion by Mr. Roll,
I'll second.
second by Keith Chapin. Any more questions? That's Louisa Plaza, all in favor, engineering contract for Louisa Drive. Explain that real quick. The water line that goes from the water plant to Louisa Drive, and that's why we're calling it Louisa Drive. It's not actually on Louisa Drive. It goes through the woods there, over to Louisa Drive. And that's how those people on that side of the tracks got water. Yeah, it was added later, remember, that over there, if I remember. And it goes under Lick Creek. And during the flood, that line was damaged and we had to leak in the creek. So, we're getting preliminary estimates, looking at it. It looks like the length of, pipe that will have to be bored under the creek. We're probably looking between $50,000 and $60,000 project to get it repaired. The good news is, I'm working with FEMA on that. This is on our FEMA plan. It is one of our projects on the FEMA list. I finished the paperwork today. I had to get the Division of Water stuff approved. We finished all that, and Jason, and it should be ready to go as soon as we get this approved. Then Thomas will do the advertisement for the newspaper. We'll advertise it in the paper, and then open the bids about 2020. But it should be paid. If everything goes well, FEMA should pay 80%, or I'm sorry, 75%, and the state 15%, unless they're. And this one is 11. And that's the same thing on that one. He's going to do advertising, bid meetings, contract meetings, the inspection, and get us that good price. Any questions? Have a motion to approve. Motion by Ms. Lester. Second by Ms. Brown. Any questions? All right. Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? High water pump, forgive me if I'm being redundant, I don't remember who I told what. But we lost also in the flood, we lost a raw water pump, and we ended up taking two old ones, piecing them together, getting them back in. It was running at a reduced capacity with that pump. Now, remember, there's 3 pumps, but we're running at a reduced capacity with that pump. And this is a quote. We actually had the Kentucky Engineering Group, administer the project, get it out to bid. It was more of an emergency, so I just dropped the hammer and said, let's get this in paper and get it bid as quick as we can. Because if it was to go down, then you're affected. And so we advertised, and their recommendations after the advertisement was to take the lowest bid of $92,370.80 from Service Pump and Supply in Huntington. And again, working with FEMA on this, we're gonna get this pump approved, and it looks like for the mitigation and category B stuff, we're gonna get another one, too. We're gonna get 2 back in the pits. So we'll have 2.
Mayor, do we have any insurance that would cover calamities like that?
I don't believe it would, Bud, because it's a flood. Flood insurance is a whole different ball.
Yeah,
And if lightning struck, it would.
I mean, next time lightning will strike.
Yeah. So, the utility board also the engineers and the utility board recommend we go. We've dealt with this service pump supply, they've never had any problems with them. It's quite a bit cheaper, they're a lot more local, they're Huntington to Lexington. So everybody recommend that we go with them, if you all would approve that.
I'll make a motion to approve.
We've got a motion by Ms. Lester.
I'll second it.
Second by Keith Chafin. Any questions or concerns? All right, you all approved the budget last time. Following up with that, item number 8 would be second reading of the ordinance of the Louisa budget. And as soon as we get the second reading, I'll sign it, we get it in the newspaper, and it'll become effective July 1. Is there any, so we'll go to number 8. Any questions about that ordinance? Concerning the budgets, that's my red, white, and blue budget, I call it. That is in your packet, it's on the red, white, and blue paper. I do believe, I've been through it and through it and through it and through it, and I believe it's a true and honest picture of our financial position to the very best of my ability. And then on the ordinance part, all it does, it takes all that red, white, and blue and condenses it down to something public. That's why the ordinance. Any questions on ordinance number 2501? All right, anybody make a motion? Make a motion by Caleb. Or, second, Cody Rowe. All right, there are no questions, read it, call the roll.
Ms. Brown? We're voting on this, we have to vote, so Ms. Brown, your vote? Yes. Okay. I didn't know if you know what I was saying, you kinda looked at me like I scared you, I'm sorry. Farley? Lester? Yes. Rowe?
Yes.
And Chapin?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Motion carried, we'll get that signed, employee compensation, 2502. In case anybody wasn't here last time, the state sends out a CPI increase, and for the last 5 or 6 or 8 years maybe that I've been here, instead of us sitting up here deciding how much raise to give, so elected officials, the state sets that raise. That's what elected officials get across the state of Kentucky. It's supposedly based on consumer price index and all that. So this year is like 2.94%, okay? So on the employees, so mine was 2.94%, the state says that. The employees, I just rounded it up to 3, just 2.94. So the new budget, the red, white, and blue budget includes a 3% cost of living increase. So this ordinance spells out what each position that the city makes. And if that cost of living increase puts somebody over that maximum, then that's why this happens. Any questions? So have a motion? Motion by Ms. Brown, second by Ms. Lester. Don't hear no questions.
Chapin?
Yes.
Rowe?
Yes.
Lester?
Yes.
Farley?
Yes.
And Brown?
For action, because you approved the utility budget last time, since you approved it, and you approved the first reading last time, same thing, we're now on the second reading of the ordinance. Just put in ordinance form by the attorney. Have any questions on the utilities ordinance, then I would entertain a motion to approve the second reading of the ordinance so I can get the paper.
Make a motion.
Motion by Ms. Lester, second by Ms. Brown.
Rowe?
Yes.
Sorry, I'm getting behind. Lester?
Yes.
Chapin?
Yes.
And Farley?
Yes.
And Brown?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, and item number 12 is the same thing, it's employees. They are done separately for some reason. After we've all become one city, I don't know the head to it, but it's always been that way. So it's the same thing just for utility boards. Any question? And the utility budget also included 3% cost of living raise for all the utilities.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Rhodes.
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Chapin. No questions, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, have any comments from council before I do need executive session? Any comments from council?
I've been asked by a couple of people about getting flags to be on Madison Street as we come into town, American flags.
There we go.
That's what I was asked. And I haven't been here in 2 weeks.
The boys put, do you see them?
Yeah.
The boys put
That's
up.
good. That's what I,
Well,
that's what I was asked about, and I hadn't even had a chance to check.
yeah, I did it a few years ago, and if you think about it, it wasn't hardly a good way to do it. We actually broke the rules and nailed some of the telephone poles back through the years. So I ordered some brackets that go on the black streets. They fit nice, they're black, so they blend flagpole black and flags. And the boys got most of the other side of Madison up today, they're gonna finish tomorrow.
They'll be pleased.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Take care of that.
Yeah, and you know what? You know what's gonna be great?
Fought hard to do it.
What's gonna be great is we're gonna leave a bracket on there, we're just gonna take the pole
Yeah.
and bring them here next year.
Yeah.
Next year won't take 10 minutes, but a half.
That's a good thing.
Today, it was, in this heat, that was a hard job putting them up. I was out there with them a minute or two, and I'm like,
Where's Wayne?
okay, what else, sir?
I've had a couple people complain about out in Meadowbrook and the problem with kids with the golf carts. You know, 10 years old, and there's been a couple people, one guy just about hit them because they're driving recklessly. And I feel we don't, and I know we brought it up, and it's like, well, you gotta do this or do that, but there's no adult supervision. There's like 4 little girls flying through there, darts out, they're not looking. It's an accident waiting to happen. There's been several people complaining about that. And, you know, I think we need to do something, put in some sort of regulation. If a parent's in there, it's a little different story, but we're talking kids, and now that Mark and Cody Street out there, it's just like a racetrack. And when you're driving up through there and they're shooting out, you know, so I don't know.
I'm open to
I think we need to make.
whatever
appointments
your
or
all
whatever we need to do.
suggestions is as per legalities, I'm open.
I mean,
Well, we could look into drafting an ordinance regulating golf carts about, under,
an age limit that
Under
you
an
really
age
need an
limit.
adult supervision, but I mean, they're young kids. And it's just, somebody's gonna get killed.
Steve's not here, and he's new, and well, he may not know.
There's some kind of legalities about
Know if he knows
golf
it.
carts and side-by-sides and stuff to that effect that mandates over certain things on the streets. So if you give Boomer enough time, maybe he can check into it, see what it is so he can refer back
I
to
think,
it.
Greg
and let
looked
you know.
into
I
it
don't know
once.
what.
I mean, I know we have one, but, you know, we got signals mirrors, but still, like, I don't let our grandkids drive it.
I don't know what it is,
I
but there's
think,
something
I think,
that he can tell you. He can check into
Lily, I
it.
think the issue was,
You're really not supposed
you
to
can
operate
require
until
licensed
16.
drivers.
That's what I was getting ready to say, but there are some.
well, Boomer can look into
have to
it,
be a
and we can
licensed
write an ordinance if there's a gap in it.
You could even, some cities make you bring it, get it, but you can get a sticker and all
Right,
that.
there's things about it.
But really, 16, I mean, you shouldn't be flying and driving one to, you know, obey the rules.
I mean, they're 8, 9 years old, got 5 or 6 kids on them,
Yes.
they really do.
Which it should be regulated for them to be on the streets anyways, driving it, to be a
Well, that'd
licensed
be-
driver or somebody at least
Is that
16
good if I
above.
make a note for Boomer?
Yeah,
Wilburn to look
I
into it
think
and
we-
They
then.
drive them to town and go by me to get gas. So
Yeah.
I see them just,
But
they
it-
come right up there
And
and
I
go to
mean,
the gas
you
station.
know, it's an accident waiting to happen, because they are in there laughing, giggling, they're typical 10, 11 even the teenagers. And if I hit one of them and kill somebody, that's my life. That's something you don't ever get
So
over.
they also, it's not just, I mean, they're in Meadowbrook and on the city streets, they get on the state road too.
Yeah.
They do get on the line, state roads.
I saw one of them go to, Hurricane last week.
Which I don't understand the parents letting them out, but, you know, I think it's something that's getting to the point we need to make.
But they wouldn't if there was a rule that said a
Right,
certain,
and
age
there's
or
gonna be
whatever.
consequences, you know. Well, welfare city employees, I mean, they are running wild.
isn't there a rule on isn't there a rule on a state road?
It'll have to be ordinance. Yeah,
I'm sure
only thing
there's
we
got
can
to be.
change is city streets, we can't change the rule on the state road.
But I mean, if
It's
they
already
have,
a
if
rule.
they have a rule, then it should be easy to make a rule for you. Like,
Yeah.
it's not like you can't make your own up.
The only thing is we can't make it
Making the rules
that
easy.
overrides the state law. Other than that,
Making the
Right.
rules easy, enforce it, support it. If they need something to enforce it.
Yeah.
I know you bought something at a grocery store, I'm here.
It's a disaster down there.
I don't see it, I mean, I'm only over there, probably at the evening.
Well, summer break going on, it's, you know, all the time right now, but like,
Honestly, I don't care. I mean, as soon as I got the truck to come down here, 2 girls, and one looks like she might be 12, 13. She had it to the floor.
yeah,
That's how fast she
I mean, they're
And
not,
she, it's an electric car, so she's not going that fast, I guess, but it looks fast.
you can still do damage.
Well, sure, I know it.
I can get mine up to at least.
Is that the best way to approach it? Let me get the chief to look into it.
Okay.
We wanna try and do something we can afford to area, or you wanna pull off a little bit. I don't know how all your stuff for the city already been set. Cause I'm still waiting on people to bring them in.
Would you all,
September's gonna be a good
would
time.
you all be willing to push it to September?
I'm currently not doing something.
I think that's more of a hometown. More people will be back.
Cause
A lot of classrooms.
we put a deadline on it, the 16th, I think, and I've had 2 more people volunteer.
I still have mine, haven't turned in.
Most people.
Well, let's try to really push it.
Could you set up a table at September Fest and maybe sell more envelopes?
Probably.
But then that's
But
short,
then that
that's not a
pushes you
lot of
back
time
Yeah,
into-
there's
to.
a lot of time to get back. I was talking about that last week.
Set it up for the 4th of July and
Yeah.
have it due for September 5th.
Not bad idea.
Who wants to sell the table all weekend?
Neil.
Neil.
He'll sit there all week.
All right, let's push it, we'll talk to Joe and see if September, okay, if not, we'll do it in like sometime in July. I think the 4th is too much. I'm in need of an executive session to discuss, item of potential litigation and 2 real estate transactions.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All right, I have a motion, we return to regular order.
I make a motion.
Motion by Keith, second by Caleb Farley, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
We probably, while we're in executive session, we approved the settlement for, I don't have the exact number in front of me, about $89,000 with Columbia Gas for damage to the streets. And I just need a vote on that, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah. Have a motion to approve that compensation from Columbia Gas.
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
Motion by Cody. Second by Ms. Lester, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
The second item, we discussed a possible real estate transaction, and we're sort of negotiating terms, but no decision's been made.
Keith, do you have anything else on your list? No?
Nah,
Anybody?
no.
All right,